Here with us to discuss further, Michael Skiba, a cybersecurity expert known as Dr. Freud. He's also the program director of criminal justice at Colorado State University Global. Michael, welcome to the show. I want to start with your reaction when you first heard about the breach a few days ago.
Yeah, so I think surprise to a lot of us that we were using, a messaging app for such sensitive information when, again, it's commercially available. In my opinion, it's kind of a step up from a WhatsApp. It is a secure platform. It uses encryption, it uses minimum data storage, but still, when we compare it to, the Pentagon and some of the intranet and the communication channels that they have, it's kind of not even in the same league as that. So.
There's a recent Associated Press review. It shows that encrypted messaging apps like Signal are increasingly popular with government officials. We saw Tulsi Gabbard say they come on government phones, which I was a little surprised by. But how safe are apps like Signal? What's the difference between Signal and secure government communications?
I think the biggest vulnerability with Signal, so, it uses encryption technology, which is important. So it uses an algorithm and a code. But the way we look at it, it's an algorithm. It's math. So math can be, decoded and descrambled. So that's kind of how I look at it, my perspective. Now, I think one of the biggest vulnerabilities here, Hannah, is the device that it's actually installed on. So I think that's really an issue that we have to discuss is, let's say that device has been compromised. Let's say another app on that device has been compromised, that's definitely going to open up, spyware and phishing campaigns where I think that's really where I think a lot of the biggest threats will come.
The Trump administration is raising a lot of questions about how Atlantic editor-in-chief Jeffrey Goldberg ended up in the group chat to begin with. National Security Advisor Mike Waltz suggested that Goldberg may have done something to gain access to that chat. Should we expect a full explanation of how Goldberg was added to that chain, that text chain?
Yeah, and I think it's a very interesting topic. And I think, when we look at these messaging apps, what's very interesting is that you have to be in a person's contact to actually be added within a chat or within a group. So then the question is, was he actually in, the contact group in the first place? So again, it kind of brings up a broader question. So then, of course, could there have been a threat actor that somehow infiltrated that and put the contact there? These are all theories that I think are very interesting that I think we're going to have to explore.
Oh, I think they're equally as interesting. Another thing that has a lot of this team alongside me scratching our heads is Wired is reporting that the contact list on Waltz's Venmo account is public. I even keep my Venmo account private, not for any reason, just because, you don't want people to know what you're spending money on. Do you think that's a problem? Is this something a lot of Americans probably have?
Absolutely. And I think it just raises some awareness, I think, about kind of the more social issue. How flexible are we now? How apt are we to share things? And I think this is very important with apps too, is a lot of them default back to the lowest security setting, even on ride shares. So you could be sharing your information at all points in time. It could be absolutely horrific. So I think it's important to keep that hygiene, very tight in your circles. So, it is the last thing we want to do, right?
Absolutely. Michael, I have less than a minute. A German news magazine is reporting that private data like email addresses, phone numbers belonging to very important people, Hegseth, Gabbard, Waltz, have been found on the dark web. That is concerning, but does it surprise you at all?
This is what I know about the dark web. I've unfortunately spent time there. And once information starts to circulate, we don't know where it goes. We don't know how hard it is to extract. So I think that's one of the interesting things is, the research, I guess, showed that the information was gained from other apps, from WhatsApp and LinkedIn. So very highly sophisticated technology that can actually extract that from different areas and compile it all in one area. So that's, I think, probably what happened in this instance here.
All right. Thank you for explaining that to me so quickly. Michael Skiba, we appreciate it.
Thank you. Great to be here.